English Online, and today we're going to be looking at the IELTS exam. However, this video is going to be for the more experienced IELTS student, someone who's perhaps just about to do their exam. It'll be perfect for you because today we're looking at the speaking test in particular and the things you should do and the things that you shouldn't do. So the speaking do's and don'ts. Alright, so let's have a look. Okay, so the speaking do's and don'ts. First of all, alright, very important, expand your answers, okay? And this is a classic mistake that some people make. Especially in part one, you may be asked a question, very simple question like where are you from? And people reply, I'm from Athens. That's not a very good answer, okay? You should always try and expand your answers, because the more you expand your answers, the more grammar, vocabulary and expressions that you use, alright? And this is what you get marks for. You have to remember that the examiner is not your teacher. He's never heard you speak English before, and he has 15 minutes to, appraise your level, okay? So you've got to go in there and speak some good English for him to do exactly that. Alright? So expand your answers. This is vital. No one-word answers. Definitely not. Alright? Be enthusiastic. This is important, okay? Because you've got to imagine the examiners sitting there, the Cambridge examiners are highly professional, but they may have been sitting there for 1, 2, 3 hours, I'm guessing. So when you go into the exam, the last thing they want is some student sitting there going, yeah, I'm from London. In my free time, I play tennis. Because if you're doing that, you're making the examiner's job difficult. He's having to squeeze the English out of you. Okay, it's not going to make a good impression. Again, you want to be enthusiastic. This will make a very good impression and it will show that you're confident, and this is what gets you marks. Alright, so be enthusiastic. Listen carefully to the questions. Now this is one of the most common mistakes, okay, because I guarantee all of you out there have been looking online, watching videos like this, practicing lots of questions with the communities and things out there, okay? But every question is slightly different, alright? And you've got to listen for the question. A lot of the time, people will just start, they'll hear the examiner start talking about something, they'll go, okay, and they'll answer a question, but it wasn't actually what they were asked, alright? For example, a classic of this is, what are the advantages of mobile phones? And they'll sit there talking about the advantages, and then they'll talk about the disadvantages. Strictly speaking, they weren't asked about the disadvantages, okay? So listen very carefully to the questions, and if you don't hear, feel free to say, sorry, can you repeat that for me? Because that's what you do when you don't understand something, yeah? Alright, so try to relax, alright? I know this is a very difficult one. We're all nervous when we're taking tests and things like that, but you have to try and relax, alright? Remember, the examiner is not the enemy. Cambridge examiners are highly professional, they're very friendly, and believe it or not, they want to pass you. You've just got to give them the reason to pass you. It's that simple. So relax, guys. Deep breath and go for it. Yeah? Alright. So let's have a look at the don'ts. Alright? And I kind of touched on some of these already. Alright? Don't learn answers off by heart. Alright? Some students do this, especially if they know maybe their level isn't quite there. As I said before, every question is slightly different, especially like in part 3. You just can't do this. And the examiner's going to know that all of a sudden, your English is and all of a sudden for this 1 or 2 questions, you're really good and you're using crazy vocab and everything like that. It's just not natural and it won't work. Alright, so don't do it. Respond using short answers. I touched on this before. No one-word answers or short answers. Always explain why, justify, give examples, as long as you're on topic. Yeah, don't go woo off on some crazy tangent, because that's not good either. All right. Have your phone on. Now, I'm pretty sure this would never ever happen, because I'm sure nowadays at the start of the speaking they'll probably tell you to take your phone off, or your teacher has taken your phone off you, hopefully, something like that. But if you're an independent student, make sure your phone's off or not on vibrate or something silly like that. Alright, good. So, one final thing, the dreaded, as you'll see here, the dreaded getting stuck. Okay, so some people, because they're very stressed or they're trying to think of that one word, get stuck, and they sit there for 20-30 seconds going, there's no point in doing that. Alright, the examiner has figured out already after like 2 seconds that you don't know the word you're looking for. The best thing you can do is try and find a synonym, which you're obviously trying to do. And if that doesn't work, you know, just basically say anyway and then move on. Yeah, because if you're sitting there umming and ahhing, you're just wasting time. Time you could have used to speak and impress the examiner. Just because you don't know that one word does not mean that you're going to fail or anything. It's no big deal. You know, it happens to everyone. It happens to me sometimes. If you watch these videos, sometimes I'm like, brain freeze. Yeah, it happens. Okay, so don't worry about getting stuck, and if it happens, try and find another word, try and rephrase it another way, or just say anyway and just keep on going with whatever you were saying. Alright? So, don't panic. It is no big deal. Alright? So, thank you very, very much for watching this video. Good luck in your speaking, guys. Remember, lots of practice, and if you have any questions or anything like that, get in contact with us. Alright? Bye for now.